Okay, back in the tool set now, and I was proofreading, or not proofreading. I had someone review the video up to this point, and they kind of made a comment about my accent. um, I'll probably have to put a little annotation in the video just for those people that don't watch them all, before they start making fun of me saying the word Malay wrong. Um, that is just the way I say it. I know most places, they say melee or melee. I can't even say it. It's an accent. I'm from an island in the North Atlantic, so you'll have to bear with me on that one. So I'm going to keep saying it the way I say it, which is melee, and go from there. Anyway, getting back to what's important, and that is the walkthrough. One thing that we were trying to accomplish there is we were trying to separate ourselves from these spawns because we didn't really want to get into a huge fight with all of these kobolds at once. However, as a builder, you may desire that. You may want to have you know uh, creatures help each other out, kind of thing. So oftentimes, one of the tricks that a player can employ is trying to separate, or what we call breaking a camp, splitting up the creatures so that they don't all attack at once. We can force the creatures to be friendly to each other simply by a couple of little changes. What we have to do first is we have to create a waypoint set between all of our spawn points that we want to be friends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make all four of these a waypoint set. Now, it's similar to a patrol route, but not exactly. What you do is you give it a unique name like a patrol route, but it isn't going to be one. So we're just going to say Kobold Friends. Kobold Friends 1. So that's going to be the name of the group. So that's step one. Can we create a set and do that? The second thing we have to do is actually go into the spawn plugin. Now this only works when we have the Legend Spawn plugin in tandem with the AI plugin. Under the Legend Spawn plugin, when we edit the instance, we'll see this checkbox here. Now you actually won't even see this if you don't have the AI plugin installed, but there's this checkbox here called Friends, and you want to turn that on for each waypoint in the set. What this does is it tells the system that not only do I want all the creatures in this particular waypoint to be friends, because if I set a range to be like 10 meters or 15 meters, and these two kobolds could spawn fairly distant apart, and I could split them up potentially. However, if I turn this friends checkbox on, what this does is says, regardless of where these two kobolds spawn, if they're 10 or 15 or 20 meters apart, I want them to act as friends. So that's what this does. So I do that for each waypoint, and that little information box is just telling me, what I'm doing. I need to have the waypoints set up correctly in a group. So I'm going to do that for all of them, and actually going to just do the other two like so. Yes, I know. Kind of annoying. And then I'm going to hit finish on the last one. So that'll be the 4. Now these guys are all going to behave as friends. The objective here is that if I go and I attack any one of these guys, I'm going to get swarmed. Not only that, we also mentioned that we would probably like to give these kobolds a friend to help them out. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a brand new creature. So I'm going to bring over my blueprints. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a creature here. And I'm going to actually, I'm not going to do this offline. I could do this offline, off camera, but I really want to go through it anyway, just to demonstrate, an example of what you might want to try. So I'm creating a human, and I'm going to bring over his properties, and I'm just going to change him to, Sneaky Joe, and that's going to be his name. And going to want to change his perception range to short. So change his perception, if I can find it, there it is, So we'll change his perception range to short, and we're going to change his faction to hostile. You're not going to be a defender, you're going to be a bad guy. So there's your faction. Now we're going to go to his basics, and we're going to make this guy, actually, we're going to make him a rogue, and we're going to make him level 5. We're going to reset this package, and that will do that. We'll go to his statistics, we'll give him a couple of points of dex, we'll reset his hit points to maximum, and that looks good. We're going to give him some inventory, of course. He's got to have something to use. I need to shrink this down. Go into his inventory, and I'm going to get rid of all this fighter type stuff. Actually, I'm going to keep the arrows. I'm going to get rid of these things. And we're going to give him some light armor. Some leather armor. This guy's going to have a leather armor +1 here, and we'll throw that on him like that. And we're going to give him a weapon. So we'll probably just give him like a dagger for now. So we'll just, oops, where's our daggers? There they are. So we'll just give him a little dagger +1. And like so. And that'll be his inventory. So that'll be him. We'll move these back over here. And of course I want to spawn him, so I'm going to need a spawn point. We're going to kind of just put him right here. And we're going to, actually what we're going to do is we're going to make sure he's part of these friends group too, because we do want him helping out. So I'm just going to modify the tag by hand. And there, now he's that. And I'm going to fire up the Legend Spawn plugin and spawn him. He's going to be Sneaky Joe, and he's going to respawn, once every 4 minutes kind of thing, and he's going to be friends with the rest of the guys. I'm going to update his scripts and finish. So that's done. Now the only thing is, so I've got this level 5 rogue here who's going to help out these kobolds, but I kind of want him to be a little bit more sneaky, because he is Sneaky Joe after all. So I'm going to fire up the AI plugin, and what I'm going to do on his spawn point, the first thing I'm going to do is change his spawning condition to stealthy, and I'm going to change his roam behavior to mobile. I don't want him wandering around too much, making a lot of noise. And we're going to leave him at that. So he's going to be sneaky, and his combat behavior is we're going to default to hand-to-hand, so I'm not going to make him ranged or anything like that. So we'll set that like that, and that's it. What we're going to do now is go in game and take a look at what it looks like. So we'll see you in game in a second.